Since the early 90s, Bay Area trio named Greenday have become one of the most famous and successful bands in the world. They have infiltrated the mainstream with their growling, energetic and very melodic pop-punk genre. From the start the band took note of the anarchic demeanor and hard, fast, and dirty approach of edgy late 70s punk acts like the Jam and Sham 69, but enhanced their explosive sound with pop elements such as catchy hooks, orchestrated song structures, tightly, and Beatles vocal harmonies. This winning combination made their major label debut in 1994 with the title Dookie, and was a major breakthrough and entry point into punk for many listeners growing up when they first hit the charts. Greenday emerged from Northern California's underground punk scene. Billie Joe Armstrong and Mike Dirnt formed their first band called Sweet Children at the California Rodeo, when they were 14 years old. Then in 1989 the band added drummer Al Sobrante and changed its name to Greenday. That same year the band independently released its first EPI entitled 1000 Hours, which was well received in the Californian hardcore punk scene. The full-length debut was titled 39 Smooth, and Slappy arrived shortly after in 1990. By 1991 the band had signed with local independent label Lookout. Combining their first 3 songs into one compilation, Greenday released 1039 Smoothed Out Slappy. Hours for the label. Shortly after their release they replaced Sobrante with Tre Cool, who remains Greenday's drummer to this day. Throughout the early 90s, Greenday continued to attract a cult following which only gained strength with the release of their second album, 1992's Kerplunk. The success of Kerplunk caused a wave of interest from major record labels, and the band eventually decided to sign with Reprise. Then Dookie was Greenday's major label debut, released in the spring of 1994. Thanks to MTV's support of the early single Longview, Dookie's album became a huge hit. The album continued to gain momentum throughout the summer with its second single, Basket Case, which spent 5 weeks at the top of the American modern rock charts. In late summer the band stole the show at Woodstock 1994, which boosted sales of Dookie. By the time their fourth single, When I Come Around, started its 7-week #1 on the modern rock charts in early 1995. Dookie had sold over 5 million copies in America alone. It would eventually reach 10 million in America and sell over 5 million copies. 15 million copies internationally. Dookie also won a 1994 Grammy for Best Alternative Music Performance. Greenday quickly followed Dookie with Insomniac in the fall of 1995. During the summer they reached #1 again on the modern rock charts with the song Jar, their contribution to the Angus soundtrack. Insomniac did well initially to enter the American charts at #2 and sell more than 2 million copies in the spring of 1996, but none of its singles were as popular as the songs from Dookie. In the spring of 1996, Greenday suddenly cancelled their European tour due to exhaustion. After the cancellation the band spent the rest of the year resting and writing new material before releasing Nimrod in late 1997. 3 years later their long-awaited follow-up was a refreshing poppy record called Warning was released. Another long wait preceded 2004's American Idiot, is an aggressive rock opera that became a surprising success at the top of charts worldwide, as well as a multi-platinum Grammy winner, and the best-reviewed album of their career. Greenday enjoyed the success of the album, reaching multiple award shows and appearing as part of Live 8 in July 2005. That fall brought the release of Bullet in a Bible, a concert album documenting Idiot's live performances. With their popularity and commercial viability recovering, Greenday took on a few smaller projects before returning to the studio. They contributed a cover of John Lennon's Working Class Hero to the charity album Instant Karma, later appeared in The Simpsons movie and recorded an entire 60s rock and roll album. And with the name Foxborough Hot Tubs. While presenting the awards at the Grammys in early 2009, the band announced the release of Green Day's forthcoming 8th album, 21st Century Breakdown, which had been recorded with veteran producer Butch Vig. In May 2009, 21st Century Breakdown was released and continued what American Idiot left behind as another ambitious punk rock opera. The album was a commercial success and sold over 215,000 copies in its first 3 days of sale. In 2009, American Idiot was adapted for the stage. During the summer of 2012, Green Day unveiled their ambitious plans for fall and winter. They released not one, but 3 new albums. Uno, Dos, Tre will appear in September 2012, November 2012, and January 2013 respectively, with each band member adorning one of their own album covers. Long story short, in 2015 Green Day was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, after their inauguration. Producer Rob Cavallo announced that he had started work on a new album with the trio. While they were working on a new record, Green Day released a single titled Xmas Time of the Year for the 2015 holidays, and the boisterous Bang Bang song was the first taste of their 12th record titled Revolution Radio, which was released in October 2016. The album topped the charts. Songs around the world and featured the radio hit Still Breathing. A year later, the band released a career-spanning compilation called God's Favorite Band's Greatest Hits, including the previously unreleased song Back in the USA. Then another retrospective release arrived in 2019, which commemorated the band's 25th anniversary of playing Woodstock 94. 1994's Green Day Live Woodstock received limited pressure for Record Store Day and debuted at number 156 on the Billboard 200. In early 2020, the trio returned with their 13th studio album. Titled Father of All, the album represented a different approach for the band with a short run of less than 30 minutes and songs that tended to be more glam, soul, and anthemic rock than regular punk. Green Day. The album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard Top 200 chart despite mixed critical reviews, and later that year Armstrong released a compilation of covers of No Fun Mondays.